Shalom Israel. First, I'm going to start by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors into the elders, apostles, and bishops of GMS Great Millstone who rule well, teach, and edify in peace and blessings. To you, hopefully, like the Akim and Akwat in his household of faith. My name is Yeshaya from the GMS Arizona Church in Ottawa, Ratazah. Gonna make an edifying video, like a back to the basics. What is sin? Okay. And we got 1 John 3 and verse 4. And we'll just get straight to it. It says, whosoever committed sin transgresseth the law, also the law. Let me read this again, Salakia. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. And you know that he was manifest to take away our sins, and in him is no sin, and at him is Yahweh Shai. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Okay, because this law is established to who? To Israel. Okay, so sin is a transgression of the law. Just like that. And what are the laws? The law, statutes, and commandments that are written in the volume of the book. Okay, which are given unto the children of Israel, right? Just given to Israel. Not the rest of these nations, not the rest of these fucking heathens, okay? It's given to Israel, all right? It says, I'm going to skip down to verse 8. It says, he that committed sins is of the devil, for the devil, and that word devil goes into deceiver. Okay, the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of the Lord was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. All right, so us taking heed to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, us, rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of our ability is what we're commanded to do. That's all I'll get on that. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Okay? And it's that, that sin that we all dwell in. Okay? No man is perfect. Okay? But sin, what it means and what it is the transgression of the law. And gotta get who that law is given to. Okay? It's a very important thing to understand that, because a lot of people read these scriptures and these scriptures don't apply to them. Okay, these heathen nations, these modern day Christians, right? A lot of them is, Edomites, they even be just all different types of melting pot of nations within, that Roman Catholic Church. Okay, but this book is made for the children of Israel, right? The Hebrews, the Israelites. But Psalms 147 and 19, and it says, he showeth his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so he has not dealt so with any other nation. Okay, that covenant was established within the seed of Abraham unto Isaac and to Jacob. Okay, Jacob with his name being changed to Israel after he wrestled with the angel in Genesis, the 32nd chapter. Okay, that seed has been given unto Israel. That covenant with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that promise. Okay, not the fucking rest of these nations. Hebrews, the 6th chapter, goes into the vow of the Lord, starting at the 16th verse, I believe. It says, for men verily swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them and the end of all strife, wherein Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of his promise the immutability of his counsel, and confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to lie. It's impossible for the Lord to lie. The Lord is not going to lie. And it says, he have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope which is set before us, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast, and which entered that into the veil. As this truth, it says, for the forerunner is entered, even Yahweh Shai made an high priest forever under the order of Melchizedek. All right, so I should have read up, but verse 13 through 15 real quick says, for when Yahweh Shem Yahushai made promise to Abraham, because he swore by no greater, he swore by himself. So that covenant was made, by the oath of the Lord, swearing by himself, saying, surely blessings, I will bless thee, and I will multiply, and multiplying I will multiply thee. And so, after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. So what is that promise? All right, that's that covenant that is given unto the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is Israel, which is these laws and statutes and commandments are given unto. So going back to the very beginning, what is sin, right? 1 John 3 and 4, sin is the transgression of the law. But who is the law given unto? It's not given to everybody, all right? Let's see. Going back to that first point, there's another point I wanted to get, but it just left me. It says, whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. Oh, yeah, Con. So I wanted to get Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, and starting at the 4th verse. And it says, I'll start at the top. It says, now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you. I hearken, O Israel, for to do them that we may live and go in and promise and possess the land which the Lord Yahweh power of your fathers giveth you. And that's the Holy Land, right, that they were talking about possessing, right, which it will be brought and built back up in the kingdom after it is destroyed here, by these ICBMs. It says, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you. And that's what these heathens do. They try to add unto the word and make the law, statutes, and commandments about them, okay? They try to say sin is some other shit. They always try to be super deep about it. Sin is the transgression of the law. It's a very, very simple back to the basics, right? But they err not knowing the scriptures. It says, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep it, the commandments of the Lord, your power, Yahweh, which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, the Lord Yahweh thy power hath destroyed them from among you. But ye did cleave unto the Lord Yahweh. Your power are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. All right, and we're going to be doing these laws, statutes, and commandments, all right, in perfection in the kingdom. All right, we're not going to sin anymore. All right, we're not going to transgress these laws, statutes, and commandments. We're going to be changed. It says, but behold, I have taught you, Salakia. And that means sorry. I'm sorry in the Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash. Verse 6, it says, ye therefore do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is wise and understanding. And, they're without. All these great nations that look unto the Israel, that surely this great nation says, let me just keep reading. It says, for what nation is there so great, who hath Yahweh Shem Yahushai so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for. Okay? And that just puts the icing on the cake. What nation so great? Like, they're in awe about the nation of Israel when they're doing the things right, man. When Israel is abiding by these laws, statutes, commandments, and doing what they're supposed to do, man, they're a force to be reckoned with, because the Lord's got their back. Okay? It says, and what nation is so great that he has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you to do this day. So that's what makes Israel so great. That's these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, that the Lord established with the seed of Israel. Okay, that differentiates them from these common folk. Okay, these unclean ass people. Okay. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, established these laws, statutes, and commandments into that nation, the 12 tribes. It says, this is the book in Baruch, the 4th chapter, in the 1st verse. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and a law that endureth forever. All day that law that endureth forever. We're going to be doing this, Lord willing, in the kingdom. No, not Lord willing, but those laws, statutes, commandments are going to be performed in the kingdom. Okay. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die, because when you err from, when you sin leads to death. All right, if sin leads to death. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and hold on to it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. It says, turn, O Jacob. All right, and it just further proves who these laws, statutes, commandments are for. All All right, not the rest of these fucking common nations, man. These unclean ass people. But I wanted to end this off with Tobit, I believe it's 5 and verse 21. Or is it like... bear with me for 1 second. There might be Judith. Okay. So Judith 5, and I'll start at verse 18. It says, but when they, 17, it says, and whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, but because the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore. You know, when the nation of Israel goes off, departs from these laws, statutes, and commandments, and sins. All right, and we're constantly in sin. Right now, at this stage, all of us are in sin. Okay? We all are falling short of the glory of a Mashiach in some way, shape, or form right now because of these flesh and bodies. All right, this devil that's ruling this. Okay? But we try our best to rehearse the righteous acts pursuant to Judges 5 and 11. And it says, and were led captives into the land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power which cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country. Now it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Okay, because when the nation of Israel's not doing what they're supposed to do, not hearkening unto the Lord, not repenting, not, rehearsing these righteous acts to the best of their ability and turning their back on the Lord, the Lord chastens them sorely. All right, we're in these, captivities because we brought the Lord to anger. That was actually in Baruch 4 and 6 as well. It says, and they sin against their power. Let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Let us go up and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their power be with them, and we become a reproach before all the world. Okay, so when the nation of Israel is hearkening unto the Lord's dealing. Okay, no one can stand against it. I pray this lesson was edifying. You want to lastly give all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem B'Kakwadah, Shalom.